Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. My name is Richard Taney, and I run product and strategy on behalf of PreciseFP. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me learning about PreciseFP. Really appreciate it, and hope you're having a great expo, learning a lot and getting exposed to a lot of different technologies. So I'm going to walk through PreciseFP. I'll give you a little bit of the background. Then we're going to jump in and do a live demo, walk you through the platform, show you how it works, and we'll try to answer some questions at the end. I'm going to jump off of the video here just because it's a little distracting as we kind of talk through PreciseFP. So PreciseFP, what is it? It's a data gathering client engagement platform. So anything that touches a client, whether to need data, to bring in data, to collect data, to update data, that's what we do. That's our primary use case. And then we're also a hub of data. We can move a lot of data around between different systems, 30 plus integration partners that we work with, most of which are bi-directional. So we can push and pull data between the different platforms. I've been around for 16 plus years. I think sometimes people think PreciseFP is relatively new to the market, but we actually have a very, very mature platform, thousands and thousands of users on there every day, working through the platform. And we have a tremendous, just an incredible support team. Lots of accolades over the years. We just have an amazing support team. Their response times, their rankings are always in the top by any measure, honestly. So let's get into what PreciseFP does. So like I said, we're a client engagement data gathering platform. So first and foremost, we're all about collecting data, getting data from the clients in a very cyber secure way. And then we're able to move that data around, sending that up to your third-party CRMs and financial planning tools, et cetera. So there's lots of functionality in the platform. Today, we're going to focus on that client engagement data gathering process, kind of show you a little bit about that. Maybe we'll touch on lead gen and show you some other things. There's a whole workflow platform as well. So where do we start? Around data gathering. So the way most data gathering happens today is still in the form of, whether it be a prospect or a client or need to update some information, doesn't matter, but it's still in the form of, forms and emails and PDFs being sent around, or fillable PDFs, or maybe you have an online form. You sat down with somebody, you have a legal pad, you're writing information down. So first of all, you have lots of PII floating around, in this process, lots of personally identifiable information and documents that are not secure. So sent through email, or things that are written down or handed off to people, or, physically moving between through your operations. Very time consuming, very cumbersome to collect the information this way. Oftentimes you have to go back and forth with the end investor to try to get the information, missing pieces. So it's just very cumbersome, very slow, takes up a lot of time, and it's not secure. So they're not doing it in a way that is actually cyber secure. Like I said, you have a lot of PII, or personally identifiable information, that's exposed. So we need a platform to be able to control all that. Then once you do collect the data, what do you do with it? So now I've got all this great data that I've collected from my client or prospect. Now I need to get it into my CRM or my financial planning tool, wherever it needs to go. And then you have to rekey the data. So very time consuming, things get, mistakes get made, information gets incorrectly applied in different systems, and then they're out of sync. And so it's just a mess, trying to gather this data and then keep it all in sync and move that data around. So that's what PreciseFP solves for. We take the manual data collection out of that process, and we sync all that information up to other systems. So we provide a very elegant, modern way to interact with your client or prospects, fully customizable branding, colors, logos. You make it your own. We invite the clients into the platform. So instead of moving data around, through these unsecure processes, it's all done in a very, very secure environment. Any data they put in, any documents they upload, all through an AWS hosted platform. So very, very secure. And then once you collect the data, what do you do with it? So then we have ways to send that data, like I said, to our CRMs, financial planning tools, lots of different integration partners where we can actually send that data. Most of those integrations are bi-directional, meaning we can send data to them, we can pull data down. So it's really easy to keep that data in sync. And ultimately, it saves you, lots and lots of time and hassle and frustration for the client. 3 to 4 hours is what we generally see is what you save per financial plan. So it's pretty significant savings. Financial planning, for this 41% of it actually is data gathering. It is the expensive data gathering. Collecting that data is part of the cost of financial plan. And it just builds trust with the client. So they have a really nice, elegant way to interact with you. They know it's in a very, very secure way that they're sending and sharing this data and this precious information. So ultimately, it really builds trust between you and that end investor, which is incredibly important. So platform does a whole lot more than that. We're going to get into a little bit of the primary use case, like I explained earlier, but we can do lead gen. We have a whole template library, lots of integrations. We have workflows embedded, digital fact finders. We have our own digital signature that you can use for signing agreements, service agreements, for example. So there's lots to the platform. So we're going to jump right into a demo and show you the platform. We kind of walk you through that use case of how do I engage with the client? How do I collect this data? What does that process look like? Show you how the platform works, and we'll take some questions at the end. So I'm in PreciseFP. I'm looking at my list of clients here. You can import clients. You can bulk import clients. You could bring them in from your CRM. So there's lots of ways to get the clients built and get the data into the system to start with. But I'm going to start with kind of a scenario where let's pick on Clay Bradley. So I've been talking with Clay. Right now he's a prospect. You can see we track prospect versus client over here, and there's some workflow, and I'll explain that as we go through it. But I've been talking to Clay, and I have some information about Clay, but maybe he's a prospect, and he finally says, hey, yeah, let's go ahead and let's do a financial plan. Okay, great. Clay, I'm going to send you out an engagement. I use Right Capital, for example. I'm just going to pick on that one as my financial planning tool. So I'm going to send you out an engagement, and please fill it out, and we'll start the process. So I'm going to go to Clay, and I'm going to engage with a form. So this is a digital form that we're going to send. And then we bring up all of our different forms that we have available. So we have all kinds of templates for all different sort of practice management scenarios, and you can choose those templates, all pre-built. Open them up, customize them any way you want, add logos, add change colors, change anything you want on them. And I'll show you a little bit about that in a minute here. But I'm just going to pick on the Right Capital optimized fact finder. So you can use any fact finder, go out, collect the data. We know what data is needed upstream in these financial planning tools or SAM. So we have some pre-built templates that are optimized for those specific platforms. So I'm just going to pick the Right Capital one. I've got my primary contact. I'm going to send it out to Clay, and we're going to collect PII. So we're going to collect that personally identifiable information. So we want this to be done through authentication, meaning we support multi-factor authentication in the platform. We're going to collect sensitive data. We need them to log in and authenticate into the system to make that secure. So we support every authentication method pretty much available. I'm going to go ahead and hit SMS. Now I could go ahead and send this out immediately. Just send this fact finder out to Clay. If I wanted to, I could modify the email that's going out. So here's the canned email. You can see there's a bunch of variables in here that'll pull in all the right information to customize it to make it very much for Clay. Maybe I want to come in here, and I also want to add my company name and maybe my, I don't know, company phone number or something like that. So very easy to modify. You can change this to anything you want. So this is the first email that's going to go out to the client. And then, like I said, we can modify it any way you want. There's also periodic reminders. So there's a message that can go out for periodic reminders. I can enable or disable those. I'm going to go ahead and disable them just so I can get a bunch of emails later. But those periodic reminders can be set. So I could send this out every, X number of days for whatever period you want. And what that's going to do is it's going to send out, if Clay doesn't complete the engagement, it's going to send a reminder every so many days. Hey, Clay, just courtesy reminder, we need to get this information, appreciate it, whatever the case may be. But so it's kind of a set it and forget it. You send it out, you get it set up, and then let the system just run it for you. And then there's a thank you email at the end. And again, you can change that to anything you want there. If I wanted to, I could also review this and edit it first. So maybe I have some other information, or maybe I just want to see what Clay is going to see. What's he actually going to get when I hit send? So I'm going to hit create and edit, and I'm going to review it first. So this is exactly what the client's going to see. And it's going to render what's in the frame here obviously is what's going to go out to the client. I'll show you this here in just a minute. But you can put your logos and colors and modify it any way you want. Like I said, you can customize the language, colors, logos, all of it can be customized. And then the client's going to be interacting with a smart form. So we'll go over and I'll actually send this and we'll walk through this process. But another thing to point out is we automatically identify the form factor that they're on. So let's say they're looking at it in a tablet, we'll automatically render it in a tablet-friendly view. If they're on mobile, do mobile. I don't think you'd set a full fact finder and do it on a mobile, but you never know. So we automatically detect that. We're going to go through and I'll show you this from the client's point of view, but so I can walk through this and, let's say I have some information or I see an address here and it's actually supposed to be mountain spelled out instead of that, whatever. I can go through it. Clay gave me some information. I can update some information that I have in here before I send out. That way it's really nice for the user. They're not going to have to fill in a bunch of information if you've already got it. And there's lots of interesting things. Let's say we had this, it's supposed to be 250,000. I believe that's the right amount. This is correct. It looks all right before I send it out. We auto calculate. There's a bunch of features in the system that make it really, really nice, very elegant, very nice experience for the investor. So I just got to go through and preview it, get all the way to the end. Yep, looks good. Okay, ready to send it. Now I can hit send and just shoot it out. It's going to come out from PreciseFP. If you want, you can copy the URL. Some people like to just have come from their personal email, so you can just copy in the link, put it in your email, send it out. But I'm going to go ahead and just hit send. So we're going to send this client or this fact-finding engagement out. So the engagement email was successful. So we sent this off to Clay. So I'm going to go over and show you what it looks like from the client perspective. Okay, so now I'm in as the client. I came in here into my demo email. So this is the invitation that was sent to Clay. So now I'm acting as Clay. So Clay gets a message, and here you can see where we added the name of the company and the phone number in that specific email, which I did earlier. So they're just going to click on the link. So I'm going to click on the link. And now I'm going to engage with this fact finder. So thanks, Clay. You get this little opening page, again, all customizable, colors, logos, etc., anything you want. So when I hit start, now it's going to say, okay, we're going to collect some important information here. So we need to do that multi-factor authentication. I'm going to go ahead and we set this up as SMS text. So go ahead and send me the PIN. So I'm going to click that and send that PIN out. And let me go grab that PIN. Okay, so I'm going to post in my PIN that I just received via text and verify that. Now I'm in. So I'm actually in the engagement as the client. And as I said earlier, really nice, modern look and feel. Lots of ways to control it. It's actually a smart form, so it's really hard to do it wrong, honestly. We pretty much control that experience. So for example, we have optional fields or required fields, so we can control that experience for the end investor. So they really can't do it wrong. It's really nice. So I'm going to go through here and fill some information out, and oh, look, it looks like I got the wrong birthday. Maybe it's 2000. Everything else looks good. Okay, and if I wanted to, I could add a co-client. So we've only got information about Clay, but maybe he's married, wants to add the spouse. So I can click that, easily add that, go ahead and remove it. So really nice interaction. Anything is pre-formatted, so all the dates and the calendars, everything comes pre-formatted, will automatically format it into the platform. So I'm just going to go through this. And so again, as a client, very nice. I'm only just reviewing data that we already had. Maybe I've got a pension here with, it's also with Bowen or something. It brings me another $1,000 a month. Or maybe it's a pension. So you can go in very, very easily, collect the right data, collect the information from the client. We're also auto saving as we go. So not only are they logged into the platform, so everything they enter, all the data, all the documents, all very cyber secure. They're also auto saving as we go and auto syncing back into PreciseFP. What's nice about that is, let's say they get stuck somewhere. Hey, they call you up and I don't know how to fill this section out. I don't know what you were looking for. You can go in there, you can share and actually look at it at the same time because it's auto synced back into PreciseFP. So it makes it really nice because you can help with parts of it. You can really interact with the advisor, the investor. and share the screen essentially, but be able to fill this out at the same time. So I'm going to go through, all looks good. I want to maybe upload a document here. You want your tax documents, great. I'll go ahead and upload that. Again, all cyber secure. So I'm going to upload this document, go through the process, and click finish. So from the user's perspective, really, really nice, very elegant, very easy to move, very easy to understand, zero learning curve, just collecting the data. So the client's done. So they've filled out that engagement. So let's go back into PreciseFP now and back into Clay. So I'm going to go to my accounts. So here's Clay. So we just got that engagement back. So first of all, we've got a history right here of Clay, of what's happened, what's been going on, your full history. Actually, let me go here. Let me show you this part first. So this is the dashboard. So we also show all activities, so everything that's going on, kind of running your book of business. You can see everything that's going on here with every engagement. You can see we just got this fact finder back from Clay. We also set up emails. So, and you can customize whatever you want to receive, but you can get emails for, hey, Clay started this engagement. Oh, Clay just finished this engagement. So lots of ways to get notifications and track and have that flow through your email if you want. Or you can come in here and you can see here's all the history. We also track, as I said earlier, prospects versus clients. So there's also a whole, what we call pipeline or workflow. So as you're going through the process in different stages and different types of engagements, we can actually move them once something's completed into another stage and then convert them at a point over to a client and then go through the client stage. So it's really nice to track from a workflow standpoint. And like I said, set it and forget it. You could send out a client engagement, maybe it's a lead, bring them in under a lead gen, then send them a fact finder, collect some information about them, and then move them through financial planning and move them over as a client. So it's really, really nice from a workflow standpoint. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we got from Clay. So here's my Clay Bradley, and I'm going to actually go in and look at the profile. So I know we just finished this engagement. So first of all, a really nice feature is I'm looking at all the data we have about Clay, and you can see these little green boxes over here. So that tells you that some data was updated. Very useful piece of information because I can go in here and look at different things and say, oh, and then we identify them by this little green arrow here. And if you hover over it, you can actually see the prior value. So it's really nice if you change. So for example, if Clay was married and put divorced and I could see that, I probably want to pick the phone up and give Clay a call because that's probably a life-changing event that you want to talk about. So anyway, we identify everything that's changed very, very quickly and easily. Lots of nice navigation to get there and see what's been changed in the platform. And then, like I said, we have the hover so you can see the prior value. So really, really nice way to just quickly screen through and see the data that you received for Clay. So now I've got this great data and we brought it in, optimized for Right Capital. And I want to go ahead and share this data with Right Capital. So now I'm going to go ahead and export this data. So I'm just going to go to export. This account has several integrations set up. I'm going to select Right Capital. And I've already linked Clay in Right Capital because I've actually sent data over there before, but I can unlink this. Or if Clay didn't exist, or if we didn't have him already linked, I could search for Clay Bradley. So now we're actually going out into Right Capital, doing a search, and then returning the clients that you have access to. So in this case, it's Clay Bradley. Obviously, I already have him in Right Capital. But we're actually going out and pulling that information out of Right Capital and then being able to connect this to that, to the right client. So I'm going to go ahead and hit export. So now we're actually exporting all the data, everything we can map over into Right Capital. We are pulling all that data. You can see that there's lots of really good, rich data that we're going to send over to Right Capital. So now I have sent all this information over to Right Capital, and we can continue the process and jump into Right Capital. It's already pre-filled with all that data, and then we can do the financial planning process. And we can also pull data. So most of the platforms, we can pull data bidirectionally. So here's a list of all of our integrations. This is all available on the public website. It's just PreciseFP. And if you look up partners, you're going to go right into here. So these are all the integrations. You can see lots of CRMs, Salesforce, every variation pretty much of Salesforce, Redtail, Wealthbox, Smart Office. So lots of CRM capabilities, DocuPace, of course, and then also financial planning tools. So eMoney, MoneyGuide Pro, and Right Capital. And if you want more information about what we actually map to any of them, Actually, let's pick on Redtail. You can actually go in, click on that. We'll give you a little explanation of what do we do, how does that integration work? Is it bidirectional? And then if you want to understand all the data that we actually pass, you can just go into the knowledge base. And then under the knowledge base, we actually publish all of our mapping tables. So you can actually just click on the mapping table, and probably a little hard to see on the screen, but you can see that for Redtail, this is all the data that we can map. So all of this data that you can engage with the client, collect the data, sync it up to Redtail, or if you're doing your annual reviews and you maintain your data in Redtail, for example, and you say, okay, I want to go do these annual reviews, bring that all into PreciseFP, preload everything for that client, send it out to the client. Then they're just reviewing. Then they're just going through reviewing. Yep, looks good. Oh, I got one change here. I make an extra X dollars or something like that. And then we'll bring that back in. So it's a really, really nice way to manage your data and sync that data between the different systems. Very, very powerful. So I appreciate you all spending some time with me today. Thank you. Hopefully that gave you a bit of a sense of what PreciseFP and the platform could do. It's really a very, very elegant and modern way to interact with your clients and prospects. Very, very secure, customizable, fully customizable with branding and logos and colors. You can invite that client into that experience, so it's very, very secure in that AWS hosted platform. And then you can take that data and move it around. So you can send it to your CRM, send it up to your financial planning tool. Super easy to use. One of the nicest things about PreciseFP is once you sign up for a 14-day free trial, if you just go to PreciseFP.com, you can sign up for a 14-day free trial. Our support team will automatically reach out. We'll set up a coaching session for you. We'll set up a 30-minute, walk you through it, get you set up, show you how to set up the integration, super easy, show you how to run through, kind of your initial use cases and scenarios, really easy. But in 30 minutes, we'll get you up and running. And we almost never hear from people again. They're just up and running and off they go, unless they have specific questions, which of course we're happy to chat about. So really a great platform. Hope you get some use out of it and really appreciate the time. And hopefully we'll see you at PreciseFP.com. Thank you.